At the Bob Price Auto Group, we put the focus on you, where we strive for excellence in sales and service. Come see why we should be your number one choice. Check out this 2019 Silverado for only $28,990, or leased for $399 a month for 24 months with zero down. Or this 2019 Silverado Texas Edition, only $30,990. With the Bob Price Promise, we'll beat any other GM dealer's price. Visit us today or online at bobpriceautogroup.com.
Barefoot at 108 East Main in Fredericksburg can help you show your Battlin Billy pride. An epic selection of Battlin Billy gear. Barefoot also has a store full of hats, tees, tanks, polos, sweatshirts, and more. New items arriving weekly. Also adult, youth, toddler, and baby items. Don't forget the faculty discount, 15% off your entire purchase every day. Barefoot, 108 East Main in Fredericksburg, online, barefootcampusoutfitter.com.
The Inside Story has been family-owned and operated since 1981. The Inside Story is your custom decorating center with in-house designers, and the owners install your flooring too, so you know satisfaction is guaranteed. They sell carpet, wood flooring, ceramic tile, luxury vinyl, area rugs, wallpaper, paint, and much more. See the Inside Story's extensive showroom, Highway 16 South in Fredericksburg, online at theinsidestorytx.com.
Gaddy's Pizza in Fredericksburg is a huge supporter of Battlin Billies Sports, students, and teachers. In fact, Gaddy's offers a lunch special for teachers and students Monday through Friday for only $6.99, and that includes a drink. Gaddy's Pizza also has pasta, dessert, and one of the best salad bars in town. Enjoy the game room. Kids of all ages love it. Gaddy's takes pizza seriously. 2931 Highway 16 South in Fredericksburg. Billy Pride Iberalis.
There it is.
All right. It is that time. It's game day Friday, special week too, homecoming week all week. Been different themes going on the campus, but we are ready for some Battlin Billy football. It's time for Coffee with Coach here at Barefoot, 108 East Main, Fredericksburg. Good morning, Coach.
Morning.
Here we are.
Glad to be here again. Here we go.
Game day
Another
Friday.
Friday this week, so we got extra days.
So was that the last Thursday game?
Last Thursday game.
Last week?
For the year, for the season.
Fridays. Going to feel normal.
All Fridays, be normal.
Or at least as normal as I ever feel.
You know, it's interesting when you're as OCD as I am. You know, it's a normal week except until it changes, right? And so we had a Thursday and then a Friday and then a Thursday and then we have another Friday this week and a Friday next week and then we're on open week. So that'll be a non-normal week too. So and then we'll get back into district. And once we roll into district in 2 weeks, you know, those 5 weeks will be pretty consistent, the same all the way throughout. So
you bet. Looking forward to
normal Friday game at home, homecoming, big week, alumni and all that. So yeah,
there's all kinds of activities. We'll cover some of that as we go here.
No doubt.
Tough loss on the road against Cedar Creek. 20-12 last week. Looked like we had our chances in there.
Yeah.
Just some penalties, costly penalties and things like that. But what did you and your staff see as you reflect on the 1-2 record?
You know, losing sucks. How about that?
That's pretty much.
I'm looking for great words of wisdom or whatever, but it stinks being 1-2. Everybody in our room, everyone in our organization knows we ought to be 3-0, and so just like everything tastes better when you win, everything tastes bad when you lose, and you just have this disgust about you, and it's like and not in a bad way. Certainly you got to lose. All the coach speak. You got to lose. You got to learn from your losses, and you got to move forward. But we beat those guys.
Yeah.
In every statistic except for kickoff return and turnovers and the scoreboard. We had 4 turnovers, 6 if you count going for it on 4th down and not getting it. We had a pick 6 and we had 187 yards of kickoff returns for touchdowns. So we made number 10 for their team, who is certainly a great player. But we gave him a career night because we didn't run our lanes on kickoff team, and we didn't tackle well, and we got blocked and whatever, and those are all reasons and excuses or whatever. But ultimately we won the game in every statistic except the scoreboard. And
right.
So it's very, very disheartening, very disgusting. You just don't. I mean, we played well. I mean, we played well. I
was going to say there was some good that came out of it too.
Yeah,
Y'all did play well.
Well, in human nature, you start to doubt. You start to question. That's the way things go. That's human nature. We've talked all week about communication, and I've communicated some things to them that they need to understand is that we can't question each other. We can't point fingers. It's all of our responsibility when we lose. We all take credit for the loss. Certainly, when we lose, the quarterback and the head coach probably take most of the the heat for that, as we should. I've had that conversation with Tucker, and we that's the way it works. And at the end of the game, I told the kids, I said, look, don't point fingers at each other, at your coaches. Don't look at the film and say, well, if he'd have done that, or we'd have done that, or if coach would have done this, or don't do that. If human nature wants you to do that, so blame me. Be hard on me because I didn't get you ready in practice. We didn't take care of the fundamental things in practice that we needed to take care of to take the ball across the finish line last Friday night. And so certainly human nature says you want to blame somebody. So I should be the target. Now let's have a better week of practice this week, and let's get the things fixed that we weren't good at. I mean, we played the best defensive game we played in 3 years.
That's what I was going to say. Defensively, you didn't give up one touchdown on defense.
Not one touchdown on defense.
It was all special teams and
96 yards, I think, total. They had 36 yards in the first half. Coach Wilder and the defensive staff and the kids, and that's what's most frustrating is that. If especially like if you're on a big 6A team or 5A team and all of those guys play offense and all of those guys play defense and those coaches coach offense and those coaches coach defense, then the blame game's a little bit easier. But I mean, that's the same 6 dudes that start both ways, making the plays on defense that make the plays on offense. And so, we don't have anywhere to look except in the mirror when we don't win. And so, that's a hard lesson for humans to learn.
Well, I like this too. This might be a good time to share this.
Yeah.
To build a strong team, you must see someone else's strength as a complement to your weakness, not a threat to your position or authority.
Yeah, no, certainly. That's
a good quote.
That's a great quote for what's applicable with us today and this week. I mean, we, again, God, we played so well on defense. We played well on offense at times. I mean, our offensive staff, bottom line is they were able to defend us up front with 3 to 5 guys. Their 3 defensive linemen were really good. They were able to get pressure on us with 3 guys. One of them, as we talked last week, has been, offered by LSU, Alabama, and Texas. So he's a pretty good player. Probably the kid who hasn't got those offers, from our perspective, was a better player, number 90. They were able to play defense with 3 to 5 guys up front, which meant they were able to cover Jarrett Beard with 2 guys and cover the other 4 receivers with 6 guys. So
passing game was tough.
From a defensive perspective, if you're able to do that, and certainly they weren't. I mean, we amassed 361 yards of offense. I think we had 120 yards rushing and 140 yards passing. So, we were able to hit Jared on a post route for a touchdown to get in the end zone. We fell short on both extra points, and we were able to run it in. I think Tucker scored the other touchdown on a running play. And so we were able to balance up on offense. We just couldn't capitalize when it mattered. You alluded to penalties. We got down in the red zone and we get a holding call, or we get down in the red zone and we jump off sides, or and those are things that you got to fix. Certainly, we don't make excuses for any of that stuff. It was just a deal where we didn't get things done when it mattered, and they were able to capitalize. But like I said, I mean, we still have a great team. We're not going to push a panic button. I said that in the paper this week.
No need to.
We're not ready to push the panic button and we're not going to anyway. I mean, no matter what, we're not going to push the panic button. We're going to keep working and keep getting better and learning from what we've done. I still think we've progressed each week through the season. And I think, one of the things I told them on Wednesday after practice, maybe it was Thursday after practice, was, we're the best team that we've put on the field in the 9 years I've been here. The 2013 team did amazing things. They won 10 games. They were district champs. But what I reminded these guys of is that they didn't play the same schedule you did. Right now in that year they were 2-1. They had lost the first game to Burnett, then they played Brady, and then they played San Antonio Memorial. And I hate to be disrespectful, but San Antonio Memorial and Brady aren't Kerrville and Bastrop Cedar Creek.
Right. Well, exactly.
So
exactly.
And so there's a bigger picture. The scheduling at the time was deliberate so that we could have success early and have lots of success. The scheduling we're doing now is deliberate so that we can have success later in the year.
Get ready for district.
When our district is most important and playing people.
District is the
I always want to play people that are like what we're going to see in the playoffs. And when we make the playoffs, we're going to play Sealy and Brazosport and El Campo and there's not those kind of teams around here. There's just not. It's no disrespect to any of our teams. Hill Country football is a little different than East Texas football or Houston, area football. So we've got to play teams that are, more like those teams. And Kerrville and Bastrop Cedar Creek are certainly like that. San Antonio, Sam Houston, all three 5A difficult opponents. And we're happy we beat Sam Houston, and we've got to learn from these two losses that we had and move on. And so that's where we are. Certainly, proud of the things we did well, and know that we've got to fix the things we didn't do well. We got to take care of the ball. That was probably the biggest disappointing thing, was we turned the ball over way too much, and we botched some kicking game stuff. We dropped some punts, and I think we bobbled a kickoff return at one point that they could have very easily come up with. But gosh, our defense played so well in those situations that they didn't give up a touchdown in those situations. So I mean, you can't really
a lot of good things.
Yeah, a lot of good things to build off of. And
did the little lightning delay kind of mess up? Anything?
Like I said, I'm not gonna make excuses. I mean, we're about to finish up our warm-up. I think we're about 8 to 10 minutes away from being done with our normal pregame warm-up and at Lightnings, and so we have to delay, and then so we have to kind of figure out, where we traveled. It's like I said last week, if you Google it on maps or whatever, it's an hour and 48 minutes in a car, but in a school bus through Austin traffic, it's 2.5 hours.
Right.
And so we're 2.5 hours from home, and then we get a 30-minute delay. We end up kicking off 25 minutes later than normal. I don't think that had anything to do with it. I mean, that was a great facility. The hospitality was amazing. The locker rooms were out of this world. I mean, they were unbelievably nice.
I did the game with Coach Kamen, and there's an elevator going up to the press box, air conditioning, big old window.
Oh, yeah. And
they bring us Schlotsky sandwiches.
Oh, yeah.
I'm in hog heaven here. Is this Dallas? Am I calling a Cowboy game here or what? No, that's a great stadium.
Well, and that's stadium. Typical of 5A, 6A football in the suburban areas.
You bet.
That have the big district stadiums, and they have a staff that works at that stadium every day, all day.
Right.
That's
exactly
what they do. So
it takes a lot to run.
It's a little different than us. We work really hard. Christy Moore is our director of operations, and she does a great job with the operations of a home game here, but it's a little different than
it is.
Having an elevator and
a little more small town, hometown. I like that too, though.
But I don't. I'm not going to make excuses. I mean, we certainly that disrupted our routine, but it shouldn't have affected the way we played. And I like I said, you go back and watch the film, and I mean, there's 3 plays that made a difference in the game. 2 of them were kickoffs, and one of them was a pick six. And there were about 5 other plays where if we do the right thing, or we turn the right direction, or we put the right foot in the ground, or we do whatever, or we call a different play or whatever, then the game goes the other way. I mean, we did That's just the way it goes. So we got to put that behind us and move on.
And you're right, though. Playing a team like that, getting you ready for the playoffs is huge because in the playoffs, those little things you just mentioned are magnified by like times 100. It's the little when you get to the playoffs, you're playing good teams, and it's just going to be one little bitty play that sets it aside from the rest. So you're getting playoff ready, getting district ready, and that's a good thing.
Well, and the other thing that probably the biggest positive, and I think I can speak for the whole team. I don't know, but I know that I thought we were going to win the game until we went for it on 4th down with 30 seconds left and didn't get it.
All the way,
I don't think
all the way down to that.
Anybody on our sideline doubted. I don't think anybody in our stands doubted that we weren't going to, catch that ball and get in the end zone and then go for 2. I mean, we already had the 2-point play. There was no doubt that we were going to go for an onside kick, and so I think that from a positive perspective, I think our confidence and our trust and our love of each other didn't come into question. I don't think anybody on our team. I think there was this calm of we got this all the way to the end, and then all of a sudden the finality of it is over, and it's like, oh, we just lost. How did that happen? What did we do? So
Well, I like that saying. Teams. Let's see. What is it? Hold on. Now my brain's going to shut down. Teams with fight never lose. They just run out of time.
Right.
That's basically what happened to you guys.
And I don't think that. I think that depiction of how we felt was the same. I mean, we were constantly working, talking to the coaches about, okay, we're going to have to do this, and you consult with Wilder. I mean, we ran the fake punt. The fake punt was a huge deal. I mean, we needed to do that. We've always wanted to do that in pre-district, so it gets on film, so people have to defend it. And I thought when we did that, okay, we're going to go score, we're going to go for 2, we're going to onside kick, we're going to, we're going to go score and we're going to win the game. And so I think that's a confidence that we have. And so the biggest concern, like I mentioned, was that, just don't let doubt creep in.
There you go.
Don't let the human nature creep in. The negative human nature. People, look at the record. Oh, we're 1-2. Oh, what's wrong? Why didn't we're fine. We're good.
Yeah.
We keep getting better, and we've got.
And with that being said, how was practice this week?
Yeah, no, it was good.
It good.
I mean, we practiced well. We prepared. Certainly, we've got another formidable foe coming to town for homecoming. And so there are no easy weeks. There are no weeks off until we actually don't have a game on open week. And so, the other thing about playing on Thursday was nice. I got to go spend some quality time with my wife watching Wimberley play Canyon Lake last Friday night. And
your own personal scouting report, yeah.
Got to, do some old school scouting. The game has changed in the 27 years I've done this. And so it was a little nostalgic to go up there and have my little chart where I can drop plays.
That's awesome. And,
love it. But it was neat to see them play, and they're good. And I think our kids responded well in practice. We College Day. I'll give Cole Immel some props. College Day is Wednesday, and I told the kids last year, teachers all wear their college shirts on Wednesday, and you can wear jeans to school if you wear your college shirt or whatever. And so I told the kids last year, I said, if you guys want to wear a college jersey on Wednesday, we can do that because it's College Day, right? And so of course, everybody knows I got a kid at Texas, I got a kid at A&M, and I went to Southwest Texas, so I'm always mixing up what I wear. I wear a Texas shirt one week and a SWT shirt one week and whatever. Well, this week on Wednesday, Cole Immel, Luke Duderstadt, Judd Beard, and Tucker Elliott all show up in college jerseys. And they've got on Penn State and Florida, Miami and A&M, and so I just thought it was cool, the attitude they brought to practice. The hey, let's go have fun, and that's something that this group, I think, can define themselves about, is they like being around each other and they like having fun. And I think they understood the purpose of having fun this week. And I think Cole Immel's the one that kind of spearheaded that deal. I think he brought all those jerseys, and so
I love that. Sports is supposed to be fun.
Yeah,
first.
Always
that's
always
first.
it.
Sometimes we forget that.
No,
we as fans,
certainly we do. And it is fun, and that's why we keep doing it. I don't think people would do what we do if they didn't just love being around it, regardless of the outcomes or whatever. But overall, I think we had a good practice. I think we did some improvement on some of the things. You got to be careful. We're having our meetings and we're talking about turnovers and what do you do, and so we kind of made a consensus that we're going to focus on the things in practice that we need to improve on to take care of the ball better, but I'm not going to stand in front of the team and say, we got to take care of the football, because now everybody's thinking about taking care of the football instead of just taking care of the football, So we as coaches, the running back coach, the receiver coach, the quarterback coaches, the coordinators, they're all just doing the drills that they need to do to make sure that we're doing a better job of having two hands on the ball in traffic, or having the ball high and tight, or catching the ball and tucking it, or whatever, rather than, going old school on them and, giving them a laundry list of y'all got to do this and y'all got to do that. And then all of a sudden they're nervous and they're thinking about it all the time.
Exactly.
So I think our coaches did a good job of that this week. So.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about the Whataburger Players of the Week.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's good stuff. We'll be right back. United-Live.com, TexasRadio.net.
Arrowhead Bank has provided quality banking services for the Texas Hill Country for 96 years. This time-tested practice continues even in today's technologically advanced world. Online commercial services, person-to-person payments, and mobile banking are just a few of the products Arrowhead Bank offers for your financial convenience. Visit us today at arrowheadbanktexas.com and try us out for safe and sound banking technology. Arrowhead Bank, a better brand of banking since 1923. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Dutchman's Meat Market in Fredericksburg is the place for premium meats. Not only can you find the best cuts of meat, but Dutchman's has fresh sandwiches for lunch, a variety of snack sticks, multiple jerkies, and dried sausage. Dutchman's also has a large assortment of rubs, spices, and sauces for all your meats. So go see Dutchman's at 1609 East Main in Fredericksburg, or call in an order at 830-997-5693 or online at dutchmansmarket.com.
Don't forget the poppers!
Hill Country Refrigeration has provided the Texas Hill Country with quality heating, air conditioning, and commercial refrigeration service for 45 years. They offer dependable, friendly, and professional customer service. Hill Country Refrigeration can also assist with new construction design and installation. Hill Country Refrigeration, customizing comfort in the Hill Country since 1974. Call 830-997-2584. Online, hillcountryrefrigeration.com. License number TACLB 005208C.
Hey volleyball fans, Joseph Financial Partners is here to support the Battlin Billies and to help you with all of your financial goals. Whether it's saving for retirement, college savings, or even life insurance or long-term care, we've got your back. Let us serve up an appointment with you, then dig into your finances, goals, and dreams. Hey, and then we can assist and set a plan in motion and spike your goals to score. Success takes teamwork, so call Joseph Financial Partners at 830-997-4763 or check us out online at josephfinancialpartners.com. Securities are offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA.
All right, we are back. TexasRadio.net, United-Live.com for Coffee with Coach J.D. Rose. Coach Lance Moffet here with you from Barefoot, 108 East Main, Fredericksburg. Lots of Battlin Billy gear. You can see it behind us. What do we got right here? This is a sharp-looking shirt, right?
That's old school. Yeah,
that's
retro,
the old school.
Retro. Everybody's going retro. So
good stuff. But they do a great job.
Shout out to all our sponsors, obviously Barefoot. You guys for putting this together.
You got some folks to thank too, right?
I always like to shout out to Airport Diner, Auslander, West End Pizza, and Backwoods Barbecue for sponsoring our team dinners. Our Billy moms. Done a great job of taking care of our kids and feeding them, and we just appreciate those businesses that are willing to step up and support us like that. And even last night, Mr. Gaddy's, they had team dinner at, or not last night, but yeah, it was last night. They had team dinner at Mr. Gaddy's last night. So a lot more businesses getting involved, parents taking it to the businesses and getting it done. So yeah, shout out for them for supporting us.
And it is homecoming week. Real quickly, I wanted to let folks know about the Rotary Club. Yeah. They're going to raise some money for Fredericksburg High School scholarships on campus. Starts around 4 right there, right on campus, right by Highway 16 out in the yard out there.
Right in front. If you're if you're coming down 16, just right there across from the hospital, the literally the front of the school.
My favorite thing is smash a car with the sledge.
Smash a car.
Take your frustrations out.
That's a good deal. Shout out to Rotary for that. It got canceled last year because of the weather.
Right.
And so I want to say last year would have been the third. This would have been the fourth or fifth year. I may be off a year or two, but Jody Donovan kind of heads that up in the Rotary. And every single dime that they raise goes to scholarships for our kids.
Love it.
And that's a big deal. And they do a great job. It's a carnival atmosphere. They have a Dunkin' booth. They've got some celebrities that'll be in the Dunkin' booth. Some of the assistant principals that kids would like to see get wet. Some of the coaches that kids might want to see get wet. I certainly won't allude to who all they are, but if you show up and put some money in the kitty, you'll be able to throw a football at a Dunkin' booth and get to see your favorite assistant principal go under the water. So
there you go. Lots of festivities, lots of action,
lots of festivities.
A lot of fun.
And it's a good deal. They team it up with homecoming and just another big event. We also just to mention our sponsors for our scoreboard project. Our anchor sponsors: Hill Country Memorial, Security State Bank, Bob Price Chevrolet, and 72 Degrees. They all get to be title sponsors all of the games except for tonight. And since tonight is homecoming, we kind of let some of our founding sponsors, like tonight Whataburger's going to have a booth set up, and they're going to be giving out a bunch of free stuff, and any of those other founding sponsors that want to do that, have that option tonight. So a lot of festivities going along with the game, and I'm sure there's going to be several tailgates. Last week at home when we played Kerrville, FCA had a huge tailgate, as well as the ag department. So lots of festivities going on in conjunction with homecoming.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, the Whataburger Players of the Week from last week, who do we got?
Yeah, last week, Whataburger Players of the Week, JV Red, Quentin Carpenter, number 18, a sophomore, just played a great game against a really good team. Remember last week our JV Red team lost to arguably, I said, probably the best JV team they'll play all year. They had 3 players that ought to be playing on varsity. And Quentin actually covered the one kid from a cornerback position and kind of shut him down for a period of the game. And so, that was a pretty easy choice for those guys. And then the JV White team, Garen Betcher, they didn't actually have a game, but Garen was on the JV White team, and then the center on the freshman Red team got sick and missed a couple of practices. So Garen got called into action to play on the freshman Red team last week and did an outstanding job playing center. And that's a big deal. You touch the ball on every play, and you got to snap it well. And he was a little nervous at first, and a couple of snaps were off, and then he kind of settled in. And you go back and watch the film, and he played a really good game and blocked really well. And so really proud of him for his efforts last week. And then the freshman player of the week for the Red team was Gabriel Rodriguez, who is just a young man who likes to hit, and that's something you really like when you're a coach. Is he's probably our best hitter on that team. He doesn't shy away from contact. He certainly likes to bring the wood, if you will. So he did a great job with that. And then of course our varsity players, special teams was Jarrett Beard. I've talked about him at length. He probably could get one of these awards every week. Last week he executed the fake punt that we had put in to perfection. They brought all 10 guys up on the line of scrimmage, and so they only had one guy back to catch the punt, and Coach Renaud had scouted them and knew they were going to do that. And so our fake punt that we'd been working on for 3 weeks was perfect, and it was really timely in that we needed it. And so we executed it, and Jarrett got out there and got open, and
it was beautiful.
Made a big pass, and
beautiful.
Got us some more plays on offense. And then defensive player of the week, I'm exceptionally proud of this kid, number 24, Luke Duderstadt. Just a great kid that has epitomized what you want from all the kids in the program. He has paid his dues, if you will. He's bided his time. He's worked hard. He's done everything you've asked in the weight room. He's done everything you've asked in the summer. He plays baseball. He's just done everything. And up until this year, he had a great year on the JV last year, but really to be able to step up and start for us at linebacker. He was the most productive linebacker last week. And to be able to give us the option to have 3 linebackers, Metzger, Arns, and Duderstadt, that can all play inside and also play on offense. Luke really added to our team because he became a bonus linebacker that we weren't sure if we were going to have him play defensive end or outside linebacker, and he stepped up and did a great job. And he started last week. He had the most tackles. I think he had 19 production points on the
hard
defense.
work pays off. Really
excited for him to get that recognition. Then offensively, Dylan Arns had another great night rushing the football. We alluded to the fact that they took some things away from us, but also they gave us some things by how aggressive they were, and we were able to run our counter scheme. Counter scheme is when you pull two linemen and block down on the front side, and so it's a misdirection deal where it looks like you're going over here, but you're coming back here, and we ran that a bunch. And Dylan was able to rack up quite a few yards, and they were enabling us to do that just by the way they were playing their defensive line technique. So Dylan Arns is the offensive player of the week, Luke Duderstadt on defense, and then Jarrett Beard on special teams. So
hats off to those young men.
No, those guys did a great job. Very proud of them for their efforts. So,
well, back at home, homecoming, we mentioned that.
Yeah.
Wimberley.
Yeah.
And I guess it's a 2-game set, if you will. Wimberley, then Bernie.
Yeah, 2 games in a row at home, which is cool.
At home.
We don't have to worry about traveling for 2 weeks, but we certainly have some good opponents. Wimberley is who they always are, if you will. I think last year they were a little down in regard to I think their overall record last year was 4-7. They finished 3rd in district behind a Cuero team that won the state championship in their district, and a Navarro team that got beat in the regional finals by Cuero. So 2 teams in their district both played till the next to last week of the season. So
wow.
And I think the experience they gained having a group of young kids playing. They had a couple of freshmen and some sophomores across the front and playing different positions last year. They certainly gained great experience. They're 3-0 right now. They put it on Canyon Lake, not nobody's business last week. I mean, they beat them 45-7. And quarterback is a McCullum kid. He's a McCullough kid. Excuse me. He's a big Division I type quarterback, big tall kid, and can run and can sling it around the yard and runs their offense to perfection. Spread offense. They look a lot like we do on offense. They run a lot of the same schemes we do, they're as good as advertised. 2 years ago we took them to overtime right out here in our stadium, and they played in the semifinals. And I think they're every bit as good as they were then. I think we're a lot better than we were last year when we beat them, and so are they. So I think it will be a quality matchup for sure. The homecoming deal is a neat deal. Jarrett Beard, Travis Cates, Dylan Arns, and Tucker Elliott are all in the homecoming court. So,
there you go.
That speaks lively, as well as Rusty Price is an underclassman in the homecoming court. I hope I didn't miss any of them. I don't want to get any of the mamas mad at me because I missed their kid in the homecoming court. But I think certainly I'm not going to announce the rest of them. Those are the football guys, right? They're in the homecoming court. But that's a neat deal. It's a neat deal just all the way around. Today we invited all the alumni fathers of the players, the dads that graduated from FHS, to come to team breakfast, and so that was kind of cool to have them at team breakfast. And then I kind of put them on the spot and asked them if they want to say a few words. And of course, Mark Duderstadt did an outstanding job talking to them about the relationships they build are what matters, and that's what you want to reflect on at homecoming. Is that certainly you want to welcome the alumni back, and certainly they're going to crown a king, and we're going to have a dance tomorrow night, and all the kids need to get involved in school spirit and all that. But ultimately, when you're our age, the relationships you had around that team breakfast table and in that locker room and on that bus, and that's the things that you're going to remember. And I think all those dads reflected on that, and it's neat to be in a community with such great tradition, that these men have brought their families back, and they're raising their families where they were raised, and it's just a neat deal.
It is.
They talked about Daryl Whitworth spoke at the pep rally. He's kind of the guest speaker at the pep rally, and he talked about Coach Lott, AJ Lott, and just how impactful he was on their life. And that's the things that you want these kids to understand. There's two things I always want them to learn. That, of course, these are the best years of their lives up to this point. You want them to understand that it gets better. Life gets better. Having a family, having a wife, having children. Your life is going to get better. But up to this point of your life, this is the best it's been. And so enjoy it and savor it. But also understand that, it's about the next, 70 years. I mean, we all live long lives and they go really fast. So enjoy it and build those relationships and do what you need to do. So that's kind of what it means for us, and hopefully it'll be a positive thing.
Awesome. What about defensively? Did you cover that? The Texans
I did.
defensively.
I talked about their offense. I forgot to mention, they're really big up front. Offensively, their offensive line is huge. That's the one thing my wife noticed was how big they were. She's like, "Oh my God, they're huge." So they're big up front, and then they've got a really good running back and some really talented wide receivers, and they run, like I said, a similar offense to us. They like to move the ball around and spread it around and be balanced. So
all right,
defensively. They kind of base out of an odd, but if you bring a tight end in, they'll bring a guy up so it looks like an even. We kind of had that conversation last week or the week before about what the difference between an odd and even is. They're going to have a nose guard on us, but the thing that they're going to do is they're going to move around a lot. They're going to bring blitzes from all different places. They're going to move people around, and so I talked in the paper this week about us running our tracks, and it was kind of similar to last week. They're going to move around a lot. They're big up front. So we got to just make sure that we're, playing our gap scheme like we need to and being able to account for all their guys. So, but they're good on both sides of the ball, no question. I mean, they held a Canyon Lake team to 7 just because of the nature of what Canyon Lake does on offense. If you can hold them to 7 points and keep their offense off the field, you're pretty good on defense. And then special teams, they had some big special teams plays. They had a couple of punt returns and a couple of big kickoff returns, and so they're an explosive team. And
should be a fun game.
Should be. I knock on
lots
wood,
of fireworks.
Hope
Billies
that works,
win.
That's the key. That's what we're shooting for. But it should definitely be a good game. It'll be two. Coach Warren and I are good friends. We're as coaches, we do track against each other. We do basketball. We do volleyball. We do, we're in the district and all the other sports with them too. So we get to be around them a lot, and we've gotten to know them. We built a relationship with their coaches, and we respect them greatly. They do a great job, and so it's going to be a battle tonight for sure. But it'll be a good game indeed.
I know everybody's excited.
Yep.
You betcha.
Yep.
Well, we're going to take another quick break. Come back, talk about the sub varsity. Keys to victory, cover some fall sports, all that good stuff coming up right here. United-Live.com, TexasRadio.net. We'll be right back. Coffee with Coach from Barefoot.
Canop Healthcare in Fredericksburg, established in 1965, offers the Texas Hill Country assisted living, long-term care, and physical, occupational, and speech therapy. Canop Healthcare is family-owned and operated with skilled nurses in every department. Plus, they offer the Hill Country memory care. Find them at canophealthcare.com or call 830-997-3704.
Hills of Texas Homes in Fredericksburg designs homes for you built by engineers. The Stevens family does everything in-house to build your home, so no outside architect or plan designer is required. When you're building the home of your dreams, that's peace of mind. Hills of Texas Homes has won numerous awards from the Hill Country Builders Association and Parade of Homes. Hills of Texas Homes will work with you through the entire building process. Call 830-889-7900 or visit hillsoftexashomes.com.
When you have an accident in that vehicle you rely on, there is peace of mind in the Hill Country. Lance's Body and Paint, they offer all types of collision repair. They work with all insurance companies. Lance's Body and Paint is iCar certified, so you know you're getting the latest repair technology in Fredericksburg and in the Texas Hill Country. Lance's Body and Paint, Highway 290 East in Fredericksburg, supports our Fredericksburg Battlin Billies. Call 830-990-2900.
Touch Well Service will take care of all your water well needs that come after drilling. They specialize in water pump installation and repairs, servicing windmills, solar pumps, jets, submersible pumps, and pressure tanks. Touch Well Service has been in business since 2002 with 83 years combined experience. Their entire staff is dedicated to their customers. Touch Well Service supports all men and women in the United States military and first responders. Touch Well Service, 830-997-2413. On the web, hillcountrywaterwell.com, and look for them on Facebook.
Bada bing, bada boom. We're back.
We made it back.
Live at Barefoot 108 East Main, Fredericksburg. Come on by the store sometime. Take a look around. They got your Battlin Billy gear and just big supporters of
No question.
of athletics across the
Take care
state
of
of
us.
Texas.
Across the state of Texas, at home for sure. Get your gear, man. We got to make it red and white tonight. That's the object. You know, we had an outstanding crowd against Tivy. It was
huge.
Unbelievable.
Huge.
Just the support, and hopefully this will
I love that
continue.
college type atmosphere too. That's
Yeah,
starting to happen at FHS.
Certainly, that's what you want. The loud, raucous, kind of deal. That certainly doesn't please everyone in our community, but some of those people probably, maybe they need to listen on the radio. I don't know, because
you do something.
I mean, this deal is all about kids. Everything we do is about kids, and so our kids ought to want to come to the football game and have fun. Our AV broadcasting guy, John Hex, has created an electric atmosphere. They're playing "Don't Stop Believing" at the third quarter, between the third quarter and the fourth quarter, which is what happens at a lot of the college games. They're playing music before we kick off. Our band, Jason Younts,
doing a great job.
Shout out to him, man. That dude, he's awesome. I got to give him props because he was part of the UT band, but so he understands the relevance of a band to a football team, and he really, he got in trouble last year. Hadn't gotten in trouble yet this year, but I think it's coming because they typically do their tune-up when the other team is on offense right in front of them, and so they're tuning up their instruments and they're playing really loud and I mean that's the atmosphere. Unfortunately, there's been much press about it lately. The whole deal when LSU played at Texas and there wasn't any air conditioning and that's all gamesmanship. I'm certain that didn't happen because of the money that's spent in college athletics. There's no way that they're not going to have air conditioning for the other team. I mean, that's the most absurd thing that has ever been. But then there was talk about where they put their band and how they mistreated their. And I mean, that's just the gamesmanship of the nature of competition, And even when I got here, we moved the visitors down into the field house because they used to be up above the bleachers by the weight room, and they'd have to come down the stairs and they'd have to go. And some of the coaches told me that, our fans used to throw stuff on them and spit on them and stuff. And I'm like, no, we're not doing that. Certainly you can take being raucous too far. But that's normal, is to create that home field environment such that it gets, it gets the fans going, and I think we're getting that. I mean, our Fred heads are amazing.
Yeah, they're fun. Lots of fun.
And I mean, it was last time we played at home, it was standing room only. There were people everywhere, and so I don't anticipate it to be any different tonight. It'd be a huge environment, and with the homecoming thing, we didn't talk about this, but it creates a little bit of a management problem because we've got to talk to our kids and make adjustments. One thing that's difficult for us to manage with the way we have so many kids playing both ways is when do you talk to them, because you can't make a correction on defense because they're playing offense. And so what we did against Tivy is we put the defensive coaches right behind the offensive coaches when we're on offense so they could talk to the guys when they came over to get a break or get a drink or whatever, because we realized that there were some management problems where defensive coach is way down here on the 30-yard line talking to a kid who just came off of defense, and now we're on offense down here, and we need that kid down here to be ready to go in the game. And so I think we burned a timeout or something trying to get some of that stuff done. So, but we definitely have to deal with some of that stuff. So we have to make halftime adjustments. They're at a premium because that's the only time we get to talk to all of them because they're not playing. So, homecoming, we got 5 guys that are going to go out and be in the court. and so we're going to have to get that taken care of. Of course, every week Jacob Lease goes out and he plays the drums. He's the captain of the drum line. He's number 7 and plays corner for us, and it's really cool from my perspective, small town football, to have a kid, that's playing in the band at halftime with the drums on, and he's still got his football uniform on. I think that's really awesome.
It is. Love that.
But yeah, so it's a little bit different tonight with the crowd and with what's going on. But there's always something. Last time it was parent night, and parent night went long, and that caused us to be a little late. And so, there's always some kind of glitch in what we're trying to do. It's never going to be perfect, and so we just got to be prepared to handle it and be patient and be ready to move on.
And keep on trucking.
Yep.
Sub-varsity, how did they come out last night, Coach?
Man, I tell you, we played I'll start with middle school. I couldn't be more pleased with what's going on at FMS right now than ever. I mean, we our staff, we've got 5 coaches over there. They're doing an amazing job. They're creating a positive environment over there. And last night they were 3-1. So on the season, they're 6-2. In 2 weeks of playing football. Unfortunately, their 8th grade red team has lost both games, but they have competed their tails off. Last night they lost 14-0, and I think last week they lost 12-6 or something like that. And they've competed their tails off, and they've been in both games. And so last night our 7th grade white team was up 20-0 on Wimberley, and we got a lightning delay. It was right before halftime, so we got a lightning delay, and the lightning delay took us almost a whole hour to get through. So we called that game off, so we count that as a victory, 20-0. We were ahead, so I'm pretty sure we were going to finish winning that game if we're up 20 points at halftime. And then our 8th grade white team came out, and we played an abbreviated game. We put them on a 5-minute running clock game, and so they were able to win 12-6. And then our 7th grade red team won 12-8 in a regular game. And then, of course, I mentioned that our 8th grade red team lost a really tough game against a really good Wimberley middle school team, 14-0. But we were in the game up until the end. We just couldn't punch it across the goal line to get any points scored. But they scored their final touchdown right at the end. I mean, there was less than a minute left, I think, and so then we moved the ball down the field. And so,
anyway, the future looks bright.
Just really pleased, and I got the opportunity. I've had the opportunity. You guys are covering the St. Mary's games, and I've seen 2 St. Mary's games, and so shout out to them, Coach Lott, and what he's doing. They lost the first game I saw to Holy Cross, I think, 6-0, and that was what stood out to me in that game was the second half was 2 possessions. The St. Mary's kids took the ball and had the ball the whole third quarter and just weren't able to punch it in, and they gave it back to Holy Cross, and then Holy Cross just ran the clock out, and that was the end of the game.
That was it, yeah.
But certainly Coach Lott, shout out to him and what he's done. And then they won last week big. I went over. They ended up having to play on Monday or maybe Tuesday.
Wednesday we did the game.
I think it was Wednesday.
But they won big.
They won big, and so the future looks bright. It's always a great thing when you put those 2 groups together and see what happens. And this year's freshman group is a prime example of that. They won last night to move their record to 3-1. Beat
nice.
Wimberley. They beat Wimberley 20-13 at Wimberley, which was a big victory for them. And then our JV red team lost 0-14. Similar fashion to the varsity. They gave up I think we gave up a turnover for a touchdown and made some costly mistakes. Their team was really good, certainly, and they blitzed a lot, as I mentioned in the scouting report. I think it's always a pleasure to talk to the quarterback. I talked to quarterback Cole this morning. I said, "Tell me what happened," and he's very smart, knows the game, and he said, "Coach, they were bringing 7." On every play, and they had a really good defensive end that we couldn't get around him and we couldn't block him, and so we had to kind of do some things different. And so he had a good perspective of what happened in the game, and so we didn't get it done. They lost and they're disappointed. That takes them to, I think they're 2-2 now. So they're going to want to get back on the winning track. And then our freshman or our JV white team traveled to Mason and played their guts out, but they lost to Mason last night in Mason. I think it was 32-0. It was 12-0 at halftime. They gave up 20 in the second half, but they had a pick 6 and a couple of turnovers, and so they didn't perform as well as they wanted to, but certainly, as we've said before, they got the opportunity to play, and they're getting better. And that's the whole objective of that team, is for them to play and get better every week. And, just pleased with what's going on our sub-varsities. Certainly you don't like to lose, but we had a big win with the freshmen, and our middle school won 3 out of 4. And so we're going to continue to keep getting better and keep practicing with those kids. And we got another student holiday coming on Monday, so we got staff development, and kids are going to have to, come to practice at early in the morning on a student holiday. But they'll be ready to get back at it and go after Bernie next week.
All right. Certainly looking forward to tonight's game.
Yep.
We got volleyball going on, team tennis, cross country. How are things going across the board there?
Yeah. Golly, volleyball. Wow. Sonora. Tuesday night.
That was crazy good comeback.
Played Divine tonight before homecoming, but crazy good comeback. I mean, they won the first game. I wouldn't say handily, but they won it, and then they lost 2 in a row, and then they come back and win Game 4 and Game 5, and at one point in both of those games they were down such that
I think in Game 4 they were down by 10 at one time.
At one point they were down 10 points. So just an amazing, ugly win, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
He let me speak to him for just a minute after the game, and I reminded him that great teams win ugly games, right?
Right,
and
exactly.
So, you could have very easily checked it in. Certainly on paper, Sonora's not supposed to be playing with us. They're a 3A Division II team, and we're a 4A Division I team, and so on paper they're not. We're supposed to beat them in 3. I think maybe that's why it was such a competitive game, is that maybe we led ourselves to believe that it was going to be that way, and then all of a sudden you look up and they punch you in the face a couple times, and they get up 2-1, and you're like, oh, we better turn it on,
pick it up a little.
And Coach Raymer did a good job of getting them back in track, and the girls responded and played really well and finished with a victory at home. So certainly it was ugly, but it was effective, and they got the win. So tonight against Divine. Divine's always a quality program. Their girls athletic program is one of the ones in the area that I would compare to us. I would say that, in girls athletics, Liberty Hill, us, Divine, some of the teams around the area that are historically known to being, really good all the way across the board in all their girls sports. Divine is certainly one of them, so they won't be a slouch tonight at home. And I believe the varsity's playing early.
Yeah, playing at 5, and if you can't make it with all the activity, we got it, the simulcast here, united-live.com and texasradio.net. Before the game, so
Perfect.
we'll have that.
So people will be able to see it and or watch it, and or listen to it.
But yes, it's at 5.
So it's early game. I know one of the girls is in the homecoming court, and so that's typically what we do, and is make that work so that we can share the festivities at home. And so it's always good that they're playing at home, and then. Team tennis, golly, those guys are rolling. They play Bernie tomorrow, I think. They beat Wimberley last Thursday night when we were playing in Bastrop in district. And I think Wimberley and Bernie are going to be the 2 most formidable district foes in terms of, how we're going to advance. And of course, I think they won 10-4 over Wimberley, which was a good win for them. And Coach Keene just keeps reloading. When you have the tradition that he does and the quality of program, they introduced themselves at the pep rally today, and they're the current defending 4A state team tennis champions. And so when you're on that podium, it's tough to stay there. And so they're working hard and getting after it, and Coach is doing a great job, and our JV tennis is doing well as well. And then cross country, we hosted a meet this week out at the park on Wednesday, and it was quite the interesting event, if you will. I'll give the results first. Our varsity boys finished first. Andrew Kendrick was first overall.
Andrew's won like 3 first place in a row or something like that.
He's rocking it. He's the guy this year, and he's
friends with my daughter, and apparently he loves to run, obviously, but he went to some running camp all summer.
He goes
and
to
he ran
Colorado.
all summer.
He goes to high elevations to train so that he can train his body to accommodate the depletion of oxygen, basically, is what
looks like it's paying off,
and it certainly is. He's done a great job. He ran a good time. Our varsity girls finished third. Our JV boys were second. Blake Pennick won that race
Nice.
as well.
Great.
And then our JV girls were first, and Natalie Mondragon was first in that. So we had some good individual performances, and we had some good team performances. Probably the biggest talk of the whole deal was, though, it was exceedingly hot. At our Bible study this morning, I heard Joel Griffin, who's here today, mention he called it Heat-mageddon, and it certainly was that. Extremely proud of our staff. I could be no more proud of Natalie Hanley, Mark Ball, who's one of the physical therapists who was in our booster club that always helps us when we host events like that. And then Coach Aldridge, all of our middle school coaches, Coach Willis, Coach Turner, Coach Hall. Candace Pica was out there. Mike Myers was out there. Cheryl Wallace was there. Chris Wyrick was there. Christy Dans was there. I mean, just our whole staff was there. And it was hot. We typically host that on a Saturday in the morning when it's not as hot. We couldn't get the venue. The venue was already occupied by a wedding. I think there's a wedding this Saturday at the Toch House, and so I guess when you host a wedding, they guarantee that you don't have all the traffic of there was a huge number. I think there was 27 teams at the cross country.
They could have just ran through the reception. Why not?
Certainly, we don't want to spoil somebody's wedding, but the residual was we had to move our meet to a Wednesday afternoon, and in this case, it was exceedingly hot and exceedingly humid, and we performed masterfully. We had none of our kids, knock on wood, none of our kids were heat exhausted or dehydrated or anything, but we had 4 kids that were dehydrated to the point that we had to get them to the hospital, and our staff just performed amazingly. We got them cooled down on site. We're able to work with emergency personnel and get those kids taken care of. I went by the hospital at the end of the night after it was all over with, just to check with them to see how everybody was, and
everybody all right.
Everybody checked out and everybody was good. But there was some kids that were heat exhausted to the point of being passed out, and it was it was a scary situation. But we followed all of the most current research in terms of protocols for how you handle that in volume. Certainly, there was a chaotic moment. I told the football coaches that at a moment in time, I felt like I was in the movie or the show MASH. I mean, it was like a triage. I mean, we had kids coming in from all these different races, and we're trying to talk to them and get them cooled down and get them in an ice bath or get them in a cold water submersion or whatever, so that they can get squared away. And our shout out to our first responders, our paramedics did an amazing job, and so did our police. Chris Ayala, led that group, and it was just it was a neat deal to see our staff shine in regard to chaotic moments that we needed to be able to help kids, and knock on wood that none of our kids were involved in the heat stuff. We did eventually cancel the 8th grade girls through 7th grade boys and girls portion of the meet. We got one 8th grade division run, and we just decided that okay, this is enough. We've had enough chaos for one day, so we pulled the trigger on that and exited the meet, and it turned out to be a positive in that we didn't have anything really bad happen, and our team responded well and took care of what they needed to take care of and took care of kids, and it was a good thing in spite of what could have been a bad thing.
Absolutely.
So very proud of Dan for his organization and our team for how they handled that situation. So it was a positive for sure. So.
Well, as we get ready for tonight, I know I'm getting fired up and ready, rubbing my hands together. I'm wringing out my hands. That means I'm ready. Wimberley in town tonight, big homecoming game. Don't forget King and Cayman. If you can't be there, King and Cayman, we got your play-by-play right here at TexasRadio.net this evening. But go get them tonight, Coach. It should be a one heck of a game.
It's certainly going to be a good game. I think our kids are ready. Our leadership is ready to go. Our keys to victory are always the same. We got to take care of the football. We didn't do that last week. Led to some points we gave away. We got to take care of the football. We got to keep them off the field. And we got to play good defense like we did last week, and we've got to be able to take advantage in the kicking game. We were able to do some things in the kicking game last week, but we weren't able to take advantage. You got to be able to take advantage of it. So hopefully we can do those things, and it'll be fun tonight, and we'll have another exciting atmosphere.
Don't forget about the Fredericksburg Rotary Club.
Yeah.
At 4 on campus, raising money for FHS scholarships. So there's a lot of fun still before the game even starts.
Sure. Yeah, no doubt.
Volleyball at 5.
Volleyball at 5.
All right, that's going to wrap it up. Thank you, Coach.
You bet.
Appreciate it. Coach Lance
Appreciate
Moffet. Coffee with Coach here at Barefoot, 108 East Main, Fredericksburg. Stop on by sometime and take a look around the store. And we just had somebody shopping right behind us during the show, picking up their Battlin Billy shirt. So that's awesome. That's what it's all about.
They don't have to shut down when we're here. That's for sure.
That's right. Barefoot,
don't mind us.
Barefoot, 108 East Main, Fredericksburg. God bless you, folks. Thank you, Billy Nation.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paige Finley, for working behind the scenes
great
here
job
on the cameras.
Yeah, this is a great
We're up
deal.
to like 18 cameras, 18 different. Maybe not quite that many. We got 4.
We're up
going.
to 18 cameras, and we still both have a face for radio.
And I got a voice for newspaper.
I'm not sure what we're doing.
I wish my mom would have told me you got a voice for newspaper too. But anyway, God bless you, folks. Have a great day. Adios.
Thank you.